This is pure loneliness. This is no almighty Sistine Chapel, nor the heavenly garden of earthly delights. It's far from the glory, far from the glitter, filled with basic colors with an easy-to-understand scene. Yet, it is that simplicity that fascinates us. The painting as it is stands for itself. You don't need to overanalyze it to see the true meaning behind, because there isn't something deep to discover. There is just pure feelings, pure loneliness. This is well-known painting, Nighthawks, by Edward Hooper. A Philly's restaurant. It is clearly nighttime, as the title refers, even though we can't see the sky. The city sleeps as our Nighthawks come across in this restaurant. When we first look at the empty streets, we see empty stores with empty shelves. Human things are everywhere, yet there is no sign of life. Even in the main focus of the painting, restaurant, people are isolated from each other. Customers are not moving. They do not share eye contact. Even the clerk, who is into something, doesn't show any sign of life while doing his job. They are living in their own world. They feel the loneliness all the way. The woman's hand seems like trying to touch the man next to her. They seem like lovers sitting so close. Yet they don't even seem like aware of each other. That hand of woman is the only connection between characters in the painting, yet it isn't complete. You may even say it is interrupted by the atmosphere around them. There might be people around, but they are all alone. In this giant city which you can't even see the sky, you are all alone. In the middle of the painting, the main character sits, even lonelier than others, even isolated than others. We can see his eyes, but there is most likely nothing to see anyway. He is deeply engrossed. He is a lost soul, just as others. As we can't even see the sky, maybe night mentioned in the name of the painting doesn't come from the night's darkness, rather from the darkness around us. Maybe being a Nighthawk isn't about the time, place, nor the person, rather the alienated life and isolated people. This alienation and isolation is frequently seen in Edward Hooper's art. For example, this hostile environment of Nighthawks has a pattern in the painting The Sheridan Theatre. Movie theaters are mostly welcoming places with all the warm colors and the fancy structure. They meant to offer a place of happiness and enjoyment. Yet this particular theater doesn't seem welcoming at all. Darkness seen at every corner and the so-called warm colors make you feel unwanted and uncomfortable. Even the railings, which are supposed to protect you from falling, ends just before the painting's edge. You may think like it is just a space for stairs, but no. That space makes the whole meaning of railings suddenly pointless, as they are supposed to protect you from the darkness down there, yet the darkness rises anyway from the corner, and the railings get fragile as a paper. You can't even rely on railings. The city excludes you in any way possible. You are just by yourself. Maybe not physically, but mentally. Only you live in this empty world and you don't even exist. So what motivated Edward Hooper to draw such themed paintings? Hooper denied that he knowingly painted his paintings with symbols of human isolation and urban emptiness, but he later said that in Nighthawks, unconsciously, probably, I was painting the loneliness of a large city. Whether he knew or not, he was highly influenced by the modern days and huge cities. He was a man on the darkest days of Earth. He saw both world wars with his mortal eyes and drew his paintings in the days which everyone was at the most tense. Especially his most known piece, Nighthawks, drawn a few months follower to the United States entry to the World War II. Of course we can't know for sure, but he most likely felt all the heaviness of war in his shoulders. Maybe he was safe in his hometown, New York. Maybe he didn't see the violence felt in Europe or saw the brutal Nazi Germany. But he for sure felt the deep depression arrived with the wind of the war. Even with all these modern buildings, new technologies, it was just a mess out there. When you were looking at the mirror, all you could see was dirt. This, I think, is something special to the modern days. With all these life-changing technologies, world is connected as never seen before. You can't be alone, even if you would like to. But the feeling of loneliness burns out of the city as the world gets more and more connected. I'm no psychologist, but I'm pretty sure at some point of our lives we all felt the feeling of loneliness, even with all the friends we have, with all the life going around us. It is, some might even say, inevitable. Hooper was no psychologist either, yet he felt what we all felt once and used that feeling to express himself in all these paintings. Even when he was younger, at the age of 32, he suffered from this unfortunate emotion, which concluded with one of the best paintings he has ever worked on, Soir, Bleu, the Blue Evening. This painting stands out from the rest. Other paintings of his are generally land or cityscapes and had few tiny people in it, or not at all. This one is a figure painting, yet the similarities are obvious. Soir, Bleu once again depicts alienated people who are so close yet far from each other. Someone could have talked, yet nobody would hear. There are 7 people, each different than others, each from different worlds. An aristocrat couple, a soldier, a pimp with a sex worker, an artist. And at the main focus of the painting, a figure stands out than the rest, a clown. He seems out of place. Clowns are normally lovely and fun. They meant to entertain people. But this particular one is nothing like that. In his all white dress and makeup, he sits there, in silence, in sadness, staring at the jug, but actually deep into his own thoughts. Can you imagine sitting in a clown dress, a cigarette in your mouth, and everything is just a stranger to you? You sit there in melancholy, worrying about God knows what. People talk, yet you do not hear. You feel vulnerable, alone, but all you can do is let the smoke go. We are all clones of our own worlds in these great cities. Edward Hooper was the master of representing these claustrophobic feelings of modern days. He took his brush and created something beautiful out of this melancholy. After today, when you look from the window or get to a long street, when you remember how the world is giant and noisy, yet you are tiny in silence, remember Edward Hooper. Make your feelings touch for a second and watch the isolation perish.